When you are looking for cameras for your farm, the number of different technical features available can make things unbelievably confusing. I'm just going to cover some of the features that you should be aware of and some of the questions we are most commonly asked. Motion detection, line crossing and notifications. The great thing about modern cameras now is whilst they have superb picture quality, the manufacturers are now adding features that really make the cameras work for you. One of these is for the cameras to automatically notify you of things happening on your farm. Basically, they can detect motion, analyze it, and then send alerts to your phone. These features have been around for a while, but on the better cameras, now they are starting to become reliable enough to make them really useful. The manufacturers have built in artificial intelligence to reduce the number of false alarms you get. They can tell if the movement is a human or a car, and then only alert to which types you choose. Now, whilst it's getting good, it's not yet perfect. We think that the motion detection is about 80 to 85% there, which means it's now a really useful tool for letting you know that something is happening on your farm, so you can take action. The way we usually set this up is in a format known as line crossing. We draw a virtual line on the camera that only the camera can see, and if a human or a vehicle crosses that line, you will get an alert. You can then watch the video of what caused the alert and take action if required. So what sort of action could you take? This is where another couple of features of today's cameras come into play: two-way audio and strobe lights. So imagine the situation where you have a stranger come onto your farm. You get an alert, you can then use built-in two-way audio to speak to the intruder. Perhaps tell them you've called the police. You could also set off an alarm and flash white light strobes so they know they have been detected. That's all great, but not if you're fast asleep or if your phone has died. Well, the actions of the camera flashing and shouting can be automated, but if you are really vulnerable, these alerts can be sent to a professional monitoring company who will check your cameras for you and either call you or the police on your behalf. Another area to become familiar with is the camera's capabilities at night. How good will my cameras be at night? The first thing to think about is the type of night vision technology that the camera will use. Traditional cameras use IR lights to give a black and white image at night. The problem with this is you lose a lot of useful information when you don't have the colour. The colour of the vehicle, the colour of the clothes someone is wearing. So now manufacturers are trying to overcome this in two ways. One, making best use of the available light and letting the camera stay in colour longer. The camera in our office in Dundee never goes into night vision as there's a lot of ambient light. Now they usually have trade names like Darkfighter, but these cameras will still go into black and white if there's not enough light. The other approach is to supplement the ambient light with white light so the camera can see in colour at night. Trade names such as full colour or colour view. Which to go for largely depends upon the amount of ambient light available, how far you want to see in the dark, and the personal preference of having cameras which have a white light on them. There is a third night vision technology which is slowly becoming more affordable, and this is in thermal cameras. These do have advantages, especially if they're being actively monitored by a monitoring company. For example, they are less affected by false alarms and can see through things like fog and foliage which might mask intruders. In relation to night vision, customers often ask, will my cameras be able to read number plates at night? During the day, every camera will have a zone where number plates will be readable. How far out depends upon both the picture quality and the lens of the camera, but typically 10 to 30 meters would be the usual. However, at night, the headlights will dazzle the camera and you will not get a number plate unless you have a specialist camera, often referred to as a license plate reading camera or an ANPR camera. The specialist camera is really only for number plates, nothing else. So you usually still need an overview camera. A final feature we really like is automatic network replenishment, or ANR. A lot of farm cameras are in sheds that are some way away from where the recorder is placed, and a wireless link is used to get the signal back to the recorder. But what happens if there is a power cut in the house, or the recorder breaks, or worse, it gets stolen? Well, some cameras will let you insert an SD card into the camera and record there as well. Then, if any of these events happen, the system will automatically fill in the blanks once the recording device is reconnected. These are just some of the features you can find on modern day security systems. If you want any more advice, please just get in touch.